Thanks for being here. Ace here in the house. I think we have all four platforms running. Want to thank you for being here. If you are brand new, plugging into this content and plugging into me for the very first time, do yourself a favor and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, definitely hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss anything that I talk about in the future. I bring some unique content dealing with all things spiritual. Definitely check out the affirmations with A series that I've been that I've I think just finished the 10th week. So definitely check that out. And I got a ton of more things that I'm going to be bringing to the table. But if you've been following me, thank you for being here. I'm about an hour earlier than I normally am. I normally start at 9 p.m., but I said, you know what? I'm just going to slide in at 8, see how it works. It works a little bit better for me on the time side. So I might be here at 8 p.m. moving forward. But guess what? I am here Thursday night with you. Another therapeutic Thursday for myself. I need this. I need you, and I promise I won't waste your time. This will be very, very good stuff for you. Um, Geez, there's so much for me. We are literally, you have your parachute on? Because we are about to jump out of this plane. We're probably about 30,000 feet up. We're about to jump out because there's a ton of information that I just want to share with you today. And I'm going to use my Thursdays to kind of like just be me. You're going to see me come at you at different times with different hats on. On Mondays when I broadcast, that transmission is going to come through a totally different filter. It's going to be about you enhancing yourself, and I'm going to be bringing tips and techniques for you to be a better you as you navigate through this thing called planet Earth. Okay. On Thursdays, I might be a little raw. I might come at you totally different. It may hit different on Thursday. So I just want to really share that with you. And I'm thinking about adding a third day. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. There's some different things that I've been running through my mind, but I know for the last 2 months, I've been consistent with Monday and Thursday, and I'm considering adding on a third day and then a fourth day, but I'm just really just building up to it. So, but again, I want to thank you for being here as we jump out and at 30,000 feet, and the view is different at that level, people. It's totally, totally different. A couple days ago, I was exercising and I do this trail about 5 minutes from my house. I walk around this small body of water. I guess you can call it a lake. Takes about 40 minutes, about 35 to 40 minutes to walk around it one time. So I typically do this 6 days out of the week. 4 of the days, I just walk around it once. And then the other 2 days, I walk around it twice. So on this walk, I'm walking the trail, doing what I do, going through the affirmations in my head, doing a lot of internal talk with myself. And this blue jay in these trees just started yapping at me. It was almost as though this blue jay was waiting for me. And there are a number of times me and my partner Annette talk about animals and when we see them and what it means. So I'll call her up and be like, all right, I saw a fox. She'll look up that meaning. I saw this, I saw that, I saw a turtle. But this blue jay was just coming at me and just yakking. And I said to myself as I'm walking by the blue jay, I said, that has to be some type of spiritual meaning to me. And I'm going to tell you something. 5 years ago, I didn't get into that stuff. It was like, what, animals, communication. What are you talking about? Like, animals are animals, humans are humans. There's no communication going on. But I am a believer that animals can hit you at the right time and they have a message if you would just follow up on it. So I said, you know what? When I'm done with my situation, I'm going to look up what this whole Blue Jay thing meant. Okay. So I'm walking around the trail and I'm on my second round because this was the day I had to cover this trail twice. And would you know that the same damn blue jay, don't know if it was in the same tree, but it was in the same flock of trees, was yapping at me again. And I just started laughing to myself because I'm like, okay, I get it. So I get to I get to my car and I'm looking up spiritual meaning of blue jay, and it means clear vision for the individual that saw it, double down to know that you have certain clarity and don't compromise. And what's interesting is at the time the blue jay started yapping, what I was mentally processing was this: the work that I do here, doing these um, video podcasts and speaking my truth and helping people and just gauging some things and talking myself through it. So that was a clear sign to me that the work that I'm doing here, I'm going to continue. And that's literally what I'm going to do. I am going to continue. I'm going to continue being here. I'm going to continue being here no matter who's here, no matter who sees this. I recognize that this is humble beginnings for me. I've done this a number of times in my life. I remember last week I was doing the video, and a couple minutes into it, I normally have a couple people watching, but last week it would just appear that nobody was watching. And so you're like, okay, what's going on? Nobody's here, this, that, and the other. But I still spoke with the same conviction. Still spoke with the same conviction. And I'm going to, whether it's one person here, zero people, or a million people. And you know why? Because I clearly understand that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm real good in business. For the last 12 years, I've been with one outfit, running my own business. Started it in 2008, humble beginnings, and grew it into a monster. Did the same thing at Burger King. Started as an employee, worked my way up to district manager, and was very phenomenal with it. Changed a lot of lives. I've done it in multiple arenas in my life. This is the first time I'm doing something for me. Doing something for me. I made six figures a year, 10, 11 years in a row. Was really good at it, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here until I transition, because this is what I am supposed to do. And if you're here with me, you are witnessing the very humble beginnings of something that's going to be explosive. Because there will be a time where I do this broadcast and there'll be 50,000 people watching, 75,000 people watching, 100,000 people watching. Because I understand clearly, and I went over this with my sales team this morning in a training, that you have to be it before you see it. You have to be the expression of the very thing that you choose to experience in your life. And if I could do this in other areas of business where I'm just good at it, what could I really do at something that I'm great at? I believe I'm great at impacting people's lives. I feel that I'm great at teaching, and I think I'm great at elevating just people in their spirit. I know I am. I just never stepped out and did it until now. This is the longest I've been consistent with this particular thing. Started this journey um, actually 10 weeks ago, 11 weeks ago on the spiritual side. 11 weeks. So you're witnessing the humble beginnings. And I don't have anything set up that's perfect. I don't have the researcher that I want so badly. I don't have the engineer that I want so badly. I don't have the lighting that I want so badly. I don't have the technical savvy individual to, make my video pop and this, that. I don't have all that. But in my mind, I'm being the individual that one day will have 50,000 plus people tuning into a broadcast. And I can verbally speak it because that's where my belief system is. So whether I'm talking to 1, 10, or a million, I'm going to keep bringing it. And I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here because this is what I'm supposed to do. And I've known it for a long time. And even though I'm in it, I think the Blue Jay was sent as a reminder to Ace, keep at it. Mike Tyson knew at the age of 14 he was going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. At 14, whether you like him or not as a boxer, it's the belief system he held in himself. He believed it before he saw it. Barack Obama, doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on, he saw himself and believed himself as going to be the president of a country. He believed it. There's countless examples. And in this arena, with what I'm doing through video, this is where I choose to be until I transition, until I move on to the next journey of my life. And I'm going to be speaking to you with conviction. Every time I come here, I'm going to leave you a nugget that you can take and use in your life. You will share this video because you'll be moved by something watching me. You'll share it with another person, maybe in a conversation. Someone will find me on YouTube that doesn't know me and share my content. And I'm going to grow this organically. Yeah, I know a lot of people, but I also realize that I can't depend on them. They got their own lives. Can't depend on them. So I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to have the belief system within me. I'm going to keep coming with the content and allow the universe to do what it needs to do. Something I got from Rush Limbaugh and how he built his audience, again, like him or not. But he said that he grew his following organically because they can't take it away from him. And I plan to do the same thing here, grow it organically. I'm going to earn your trust. I'm going to earn your respect. And not to suggest that everything that I say you agree with. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here with this agenda to make you believe what I believe. But I am going to be here as an example. I am going to be here to give you some tips and techniques to help enhance your life. And these Thursday nights, yeah, I might hit a little different because I look at myself as like a universal journalist here on planet Earth, a spiritual journalist, like on the front lines. There are a lot of people that I feel that are going through an awakening and they're confused and don't really know which way to turn. So, what I'm going to do is just to narrow things for you and allow you to tap in to yourself, go within and make some of the decisions for yourself, not based on what I say, but just based on your ability to just go within and resonate with, what feels right for you. That's my agenda. That's my focus. It's not to tell you what to do. Hell, I'm just a guy behind the screen. All I want to do is just be a reminder to your potential and to your greatness and to your ability to tap into the power within you so that you can be at your best. That's it. That's going to be my whole agenda here. Give me a second. I want to check something real quick. So, as we move forward, just understand why I'm here. Understand it. We are navigating through some very uncertain times as a planet. And more than ever, we need individuals to be able to stand up and to stand up bold and to be in their truth. Con games are over. We've been conned.com. We are dismantling that site. We are. So I'm going to be here. I feel that I consider myself a light worker. And light workers come with different jobs and different tasks. Some light workers, their job is to, just basically send love and light to the universe, heal the universe with their energy, and they really don't speak. Some light workers are here to touch people. Some light workers are like me, to speak, to open up, to challenge you, to boldly have you look in the mirror and look within yourself. And that's my job, to come at you direct. And some of the things I'm going to say, they're going to be uncomfortable. And again, I'm not looking for agreement, but I'm going to challenge you. I really am. Because the weapons of distraction that they're using on humanity has people really confused. There are a lot of people that are going through the awakening process right now, and they're looking at the world around them, and it's like, what on earth do I do? Who do I trust? Where do I go? Where do I get my news? Like, what's going on? And these machines are coming at us from so many different angles. So in this show, I'm really going to be breaking some of this stuff down to you and giving you the opportunity to think through things so that you can make an objective decision as to what you want to do in your life. That's what Thursdays are going to be about. I'm coming at you raw because someone has to be able to bring a different perspective to the table. And not to tell you what to think or how to think, but give you some things to consider to think about. And that's one of the things I'm going to be doing with my broadcasts on Thursdays. So I encourage you to tune in. I encourage you to share this with, your family members and people that you care about. And again, it's not a ploy. I'm not trying to create a cult. I'm not trying to get people to, believe in everything that I'm doing or anything like that. That's not my goal here. My goal is to bring things to the table to allow you to think differently, because these weapons of distraction, they're hitting you in all different ways with one agenda, and the agenda is to control you. You have the media machine, you have the political machine, you have the religious machine, You have the monetary machine. You have all these machines coming at you with one goal, and that's to control. And so we have to start thinking. We have to start coming together. We have to start considering different ideas, considering different approaches to everything that's happening on the world right now. There's about 13 families, top 1% of the wealthiest globalist families that are trying to control 8 billion people on the planet. And they have huge leverage because of the programming that has been, again, put on us for decades. 13 families to control 8 billion people. And so that's why I'm going to be coming at a different angle. And that's why I'm going to be here every week. I'm going to be increasing my time here every week because I feel with every bone and every fiber in my body, this is where I'm supposed to be. These are unprecedented times. And, even with that, they're exciting times, real exciting times. But your boy's going to be here until I transition, until I decide to go off into the next journey in my universal journey. Speaking of transition, right now I'm studying the works of Dolores Cannon, and she did a lot of work with regressing people. I'm an individual, I believe in reincarnation. So I believe that we have multiple lives. You may not believe that, but that's what I believe. And in her work, she's taken hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people, back to different lives on planet Earth and in different places in the universe. And not too long ago, I'm reading this regression that she did. I believe the lady's name is Nora. And she's regressing Nora back. And she takes Nora to the last day of her life during an incarnation that she had on this planet Earth. And right after her transition, Nora goes to this place in the universe where it's kind of like an in between place. It's kind of like, okay, you transition, your soul goes to this place, and you are briefed pretty much about what happened, in your previous life and what you may be choosing to do moving forward. And what's interesting is there have been countless cases where the individuals that are on the other side, the entities, are just in awe with people that come to planet Earth. And I've said this before in another transmission that, guys, this is the biggest, baddest game going on in the universe right now. All eyes are on planet Earth. We are like the Navy SEALs because there are a lot of other planets where life is much easier. The biggest thing we deal with down here are the emotions and the feelings and the rush of emotions and feelings that we have to deal with as a human being. Yeah. And that's why you being here indicates how powerful you are. And the 1% don't want you to know that power. They don't want you to know how powerful you are. They don't want you to know that if you tap into your power, they don't want you to ever feel what's possible within you. They don't want you to feel that at all. They want you to continue to be dummied down with their agenda. They want you to continue to feel weighed down with life. They don't want you to express your natural light and God given talents. They don't want you to do that. And if you've been paying attention to the programming, you see that they take this power away from you right as a kid. Because look at what kids typically go through. They're born, a couple years they're in daycare, and then what happens in daycare? Oh, everything is rigid. You're told when to take a nap, you're told when to play, when to eat. The programming starts there. They don't want you to explore your greatness at all. It's not beneficial. The 1% don't want that. And as you get older, your life becomes more what? Becomes more structured. You go all the way to high school. They have you focus on what? Good grades. Graduate with this thing called a diploma. But what did the educational system really provide for that kid? And why is the educational system so generic when you have multiple kids, all with different personalities, all with different skill sets, all with different talents? But yet we try to force one curriculum down everybody's throat. It's because the educational system is not designed to bring out your God given talents and creativity. No, the educational system is prepared for you to go down one of three roads when you graduate that diploma: further education, where they control it, the military, or right into the job market. So here you are, 18. You've already went through a very rigid time schedule in your life, following all these rules. Very few people are able to home in or tap into what they're good at. And then you go into one of these different platforms: job, military, or higher education. And then from there, you really end up in a work field. They take the best years of your life, your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You put it into what? One company. And for what? For you to retire in your 60s, not have enough money, be dependent on the government, and just waiting to transition. That's been the system. And that's why I'm going to be here. Because how's that really been working out for us? Is that what we really signed up for? Yeah, there are a few people that break out. But when you have 97% of people going through that formula, going through that system, how is that beneficial for humanity? But that's how it's been designed. That's how this game has been designed to be played. That's how it's been designed to be played. So, my job, part of my agenda, is to remind you, as I keep reminding myself, how great we are. Because even on my walk with the Blue Jay, yes, I have doubt. I have doubt. These weapons of distraction beat down on me as well. I need constant reminders. I have to affirm my greatness daily because it is an onslaught beating every day, reminding you and I how we're not good enough, we're inadequate, we don't have enough. And it comes at us from all different angles. And so, my challenge, my agenda is to keep reminding humanity as to how great they are, how great you are, what lies in your world moving forward. What are your possibilities? The glass isn't half empty, it's half full. You have the power within you. This is how we have to keep talking with one another because nobody else is going to do it. So you are a badass. You are a Navy SEAL. The fact that you're on this planet, you represent one of the toughest entities in the entire universe. They don't all sign up to come to planet Earth. You did. And I challenge you to start to speak to your greatness. I challenge you to take some time and be kind to yourself. Take some time and reflect. Understand it right now, where you are, looking at me in this video, that you have gotten through everything. They don't want you to know that though. They want you focused on the fact that you can't pay your bills next week. They want you focused on the fact on the few mistakes that you probably made in the past. Well, we're going to focus differently. Yes, we are going to look at some things and be like, okay, this is what it is. But we are also going to go within and draw from that greatness within and make that the priority, make that the beacon that we focus on moving forward. We're not limited. We're not limited at all. We've been taught to be limited. We are unlimited beings. We have so much power. We have to get in the rhythm and get in the practice of pulling that power out of us. There's another part in Dolores Cannon's work where she took another guy that was an Egyptian, he was an Egyptian higher up, let's sort of speak. He operated in one of the temples. And on his last day, as he's witnessing himself about to transition, he felt the sorrow of how he was feeling before he transitioned because he had lived the last 15 to 20 years of his life and did nothing. He did nothing. And I feel that there are a number of people out there that you and I know that are in that situation. They feel helpless. They feel as though they don't have the will or the strength or the courage to move forward because they've been beat down for so many years. There have been so many reminders that trickle into their consciousness that tell them and remind them they're not good enough. So you and I are going to be working to change that. You and I are going to be working on a new narrative. You and I are going to be focusing on I am. And whatever you want to add to the end of that is on you. But that I am speaks to who you truly are. Because if you can say I am and I can say I am and we can say it together, that strengthens us. And all movements start like this. They start with just a few people and then they go from there. And I'm used to this. I've seen this episode. So I love the humble beginnings. I remember when my partner and I started Forever Phoenix, this would be back in 2014. She is really the face of the business. I was the back end of the business when we started, and we started it that way. And I felt as though Forever Phoenix was before its time in 2014. And now it's just grown organically over the years, over and over and over. Now she's booked damn near to the end of the year. That's how it starts. Starts with just a little flame. And then as you cultivate the soil, as you water it, as you tend to it, it starts to build. Our spirit works the same way. All you have to do is just light the flame of the will within you, light the flame of your faith, and we're going to watch this thing continue to grow. And we're going to keep nurturing it. We're going to continue to water it. And the cool thing is that anything that you persevere through, you get through. Anything. So we're going to be here. The topic heading of the show is what's next for humanity? Well, that's an individual choice. What do you feel is next for humanity? And I have another question for you. In a way, do you wish that this thing could just start over? Do you wish that maybe you want to wake up tomorrow and then everything just starts over? You get like a brand new slate. Well, see, here's the good news. You can do that already individually where you're at. But I'm going to share some things with you. I don't believe that under the current structure that we're in, I don't believe that this is sustainable. It can't be. One of the guys that I follow, I got a lot of respect for this guy in business because he's literally a self-made millionaire. And I'm not going to mention his name, but he's from Iran. And he said something that just blew me away. He said all of the money in circulation right now in the United States, all of the dollars, US dollars in circulation, 40% of that was printed in the last 18 months. I want you to think about that. So, since the inception of the US dollar in the last 18 months, 40% of it has been printed. It's not sustainable. And you and I have to be able to look at that, not look at it in fear, but look at that in knowing that something is going to happen. I really feel in the next 6 months, something is going to happen. These systems, as we have known it, are going to come down and new ones are going to go up. So, what does that mean for you? What would you like to see? If you woke up tomorrow and the government had to change, what would you like to see? Because these are the concepts that we have to start thinking about. What is that transition going to look like? Guys, we're right around 250 years. I was visiting my parents yesterday, and my father and I were having an interesting conversation about the Constitution. Constitution being put together in 1776. But here's what a lot of people miss, and my father brought up a good point. That Constitution was put together for individuals that literally just fought for their independence and freedom. They were forming a new country. It was put together with the majority of people that they were bringing together in this thing called the United States, um, were mainly Christians. They mainly looked alike. It was a different time and era. So this experiment has been going on for just about 250 years. Now, if you take a generation, what is a generation to you? Maybe 40 years? I don't know. 40, 80. 8 times 4 is 30. 5 times 4 is 200. 6 times 4 is 240. So you're talking about 6 generations, if you call a generation 40 years. Some may call it 20. But let's just call it 6 to 10 generations have passed since the forming of this thing called the Constitution. And is it possible that the Constitution that was written then does not have the right things in it or the right ingredients in it to promote a healthy environment for all the inhabitants of the United States today? I'm just giving you something to think about. Everything evolves, everything keeps moving. I don't recognize this country from 5 years ago. I feel that the country had another big change in 2001 after the towers came down. Fear was really inserted into this country, and then fear was weaponized. And then the elevation of the weaponizing of it just kept going up. The stakes just kept going up because it was figured out that we can control people this way. And when people are afraid, they are very quick to give up their rights and their liberties and their freedom. So the people in power seeing this, they keep what? They keep running these operations on the masses to control them. Because if I'm afraid, yeah, I'm going to look for some things. I don't want to be afraid. So I'm going to comply. So 250 years, we've been doing this under this constitution. And is it effective today? I don't believe in an institution of government. They have way too much power. And it doesn't matter if a Republican, Democrat get in there. It's not even about them. You have these agencies. You have the Department of Justice. You have the CIA. You have all these alphabet organizations running their own agendas. And we, the people, just keep paying taxes, keep paying money, not knowing where it's going. The whole voting thing is a farce. And the people are the ones that are left holding the bag. They want to talk to me, and I shared this with my team, sales team this morning. They want to talk to me about my credit score, where the US is $30 trillion in debt. And globally, it's about double that. So, what are we really talking about here? What are we really talking about? Shout out to Kyrie Irving. because the man is standing on his right to choose. He's not against people that take the vaccine. He's not for the people that take the vaccine. He wants to be able to choose what he puts in his body. And we've made that an issue. And he's getting so much backlash. I feel that he needs to be supported. And see, what many people miss is this. If we have to all comply with one thing or anything, there will come a time where they're going to want you to do something that you don't want to do. And that's what this whole issue is about. It's not about for or against. Everyone should be able to make their own decision. But when an entity tells us that you don't have a choice, then we got a problem. And that's why I made a big stink about this in the beginning. It wasn't about the shot. And back then, it was about the mask. It wasn't about the mask. It's about you telling people they have to do this. I don't think that's government's place. Because when does it stop? So shout out to my guy. And I'm not a big Kyrie Irving fan. My sons will tell you. I've been down on Kyrie. And it was funny. I was talking with my son earlier, and I said, yeah, I might have, I might be judging him based on what took place in like 2016 when he played LeBron here. Um, yeah, I'm not a big Kyrie Irving fan, but I totally stand behind him on this particular situation because he has the right to choose. He has the right to choose. So these next 6 months, fam, start paying a little bit more attention to what's taking place around you because some things, this trumpet, this sound, this uncomfortableness, it's going to get louder and louder because we're not through this yet. Then there will be a time of transition, and we have to be prepared for that. And that's why we have to have these conversations. You have to stretch your mind. What will the new earth look like? How will governments be ran? Back in April, I was talking really, really big about cryptocurrency because I believe that is going to replace the monetary system. It's time. Cryptocurrency is going to play a huge role in it. I don't talk about it too much, but I still follow it big time. It's like my second love is the cryptocurrency markets. Still heavily involved in that. How is this thing going to look? Are we going to start to see states succeed? Are we going to start seeing California maybe operating it as its own country? Texas, New York, Ohio? Are we going to go to where people just form colonies, form their own tribes? All the possibilities are on the table. But what we have to continue doing as individuals is that we have to continue making sure that we're right on the inside. And what I mean by that is we have to start strengthening our instincts. We have to start tapping in within. We can't become numb or dull because of all this stuff that's going on around us. And we're so confused that we're paralyzed to make a decision. We have to walk more in conviction with what's going on with us individually. We have to be able to see something, digest it, and then make a decision. And yeah, you're going to have to stand for something. You have to stand for yourself. You have to stand for your own sovereignty. You have to stand for your own individualism. You have to stand for who you are and what you're choosing to bring in your energy and your environment. You have to stop allowing people to make decisions for yourself. You have to start thinking. Some people are just scared to make decisions and they're indecisive, and then they're indecisive in so many different areas of their lives. We have to take our power back. That's what's next for humanity. We have to individually take our power back and walk in that power. So as I come to you week to week, understand that there are going to be times that I come and I'm going to hit you hard with things. You'll be like, wow, Ace is just like on something else. Yeah, there'll be nights that I do that. And then there are other nights I'm going to come here and be like, okay, we got this. This isn't the time to this isn't the time to give up your power. This is the time to hold it. This is the time to be an example. This is the time to for all of us to be bold in what we believe. Remember, we want to be it before we see it. You have to be it before you see it. Great things are coming. So my shows are never about fear base. You may feel afraid, but it's never fear based. It's about giving you the data, and then we break down the data together to understand what we should do to navigate through some things for you to consider. Your way of navigating may be different than mine, but at least a decision can be made, because all possibilities exist. But this is one of the greatest times to be alive on this planet because you are a part of history in the making. This decade between 2020 and 2030 are going to go down in the history books, and you and I are a part of it. Everything changes. You have a cryptocurrency market that is evolving. The stock market is about $100 trillion right now. The cryptocurrency market is about 1 to 2 trillion. There's going to be a massive transfer of wealth. Wealth may be redistributed to average people like you and me. We may have the opportunity to just change this into a world that is more enjoyable to navigate through. People are waking up, but we have to interact with each other more, talk with each other more, share ideas with each other more, encourage each other more. Because where else are you going to get it? If we're not doing it with one another, where else are you going to get it? So, I want to give you some homework before I close out. I want you to think without any limitations. If there was nothing that could hold you back, how would you describe the best version of yourself? What would you be doing? Where would you be living? How would you be an impact to yourself and the people that you care, your family, and those that are around you, your close friends? I want you to really spend some time on that in the next 24 hours and drum up, move that energy around in you. If you had no obstacles, what would you be doing? Who would you be? What would you be working on? Because this is what's next for humanity if we choose it. It costs you nothing to dream. It costs you nothing to think about the highest and the best version of yourself. Nothing. So, who would you be? And once you have a clear picture of that, constantly hold that vibration within you. Don't worry about how and all of that. Hold the picture, hold a crystal picture in your mind as to who you are choosing to be. And once you have that crystal picture, then I want you to think on it often. Every time you have a bout of negativity, a bout of doubt, a challenge, a setback, I want you to be able to go back and tap in to that vision and that visual of you being at your best, and allow that to be your beacon moving forward. Allow that to be your rock. Allow that to be your saving grace. Allow that to be your light moving forward. And I promise you, if you can use that as your default every time you find yourself in a rut, I promise you in 30 days, your entire situation is going to look different. And that's not to say you're not going to have problems and challenges. Those are always going to be around, but the way you look at them will be different. Because you know why? You are now going to put yourself in a situation where you are now powering and empowering yourself from within. And that is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself. And if you can give that gift to yourself, then other people will see it and it'll turn their light on. So I'm going to conclude with that, folks. Thank you again for being here. Know that I love you. I'm always praying for humanity, love and respect. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.